me, Courtney, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing 4 different looks. I'm going to be doing 2 looks with the BeetleJuice The Waiting Room palette from Melt Cosmetics. That's what that palette looks like. And I'm also going to be using the recently deceased palette from the same collection, the BeetleJuice Collection, and that's what that one looks like. With this specific video, I did try to do some really unique kind of looks, and because it's BeetleJuice, I did sort of mix it up with a little bit of like black lipstick, a little bit of mauve-y gray kind of tones, so you can definitely tweak it the way that you want it to make it more wearable for you. But for me, I just kind of want it to be a little bit more creative with this one. So if you guys are interested in the 4 looks that I came up with, then please continue to watch. First, I'm gonna go into the shade Obituary, and I'm gonna put that into and above my crease. Now this did end up sticking a little bit. I imagine it's because I use more of a tacky base, so you want to be careful what eye primer you use. Once blended, I went into the shade Lydia and packed that on the first 2/3 of my lid. Next, I'm taking Sod Girl and placing that on the outer eye corner. I'm gonna go ahead and take a blending brush so I can meld all 3 of those colors together so I have a more seamless transition. Next, I'm gonna take my Stila liquid liner and create my wing. Then I'm gonna go into the shade Charmin and pack that on top of the liner just so I can get a little bit more of a matte black. I'm gonna go ahead and add lashes here. For the lower lash line, I'm gonna take the shade Lydia and smudge that out, taking care to leave it a little bit closer to the lash line. I don't want it to be too smoky. Then I'm gonna take the shade Dante's Inferno and put that on the outer lower lash line, connecting that to the top wing that we have. I'm gonna take a thin fluffy brush and just kind of blend that together. Next, I'm gonna take my Makeup Forever eye pencil and line my waterline. Then I'm gonna take my NYX glitter glue and place that in my inner eye corner, moving into the lower lash line slightly. I'm gonna go into the shade Juno and place that where we put the glitter glue. I'm gonna go ahead and add mascara to the bottom lashes, and that's look 1. For the second look, still using the Waiting Room palette, I'm going to take Charmin and begin to create a wing, bringing it slightly above the natural curve of my crease, creating a V shape on the outer corner of my eye. And I'm going to slowly build that shape up while moving that shade a little further into my crease. Next, I'm taking Sod Girl and placing that right next to and slightly on top of that black shade we put down, following the same angles we already created, moving it towards the inner eye area as well. Once built up fairly well, I'm gonna go back and forth between those 2 shades to make sure I blend out any harsh lines and sharpen any of those edges I need to. I'm gonna take Tombstone just to blend out and clean up the top curve of the black shade. Then I'm going into Sandworm and filling in the rest of the inner lid, following the curve of my eye shape as if I was creating a cut crease. Now in hindsight, I do wish I would have smoothed out the base underneath this shade so that the colors could stick a little better, instead of like it sinking into the lines, which is what happened. But you guys can definitely learn from what I did, or didn't do for that matter. Again, I'm going back and forth between Sandworm and Sod Girl to blend and clean up. Next, taking my NYX glitter glue, I'm going to use an angled liner brush to carve out the area on my lid between the red and the light gray. Then take Juno from the palette and add that on top of the glue. lash line, I'm going back into Charmin and starting that on the lower outer edge, connecting it to the top at an angle. Then I'm gonna start wrapping that around to the rest of the lower lash line, stopping at the lower inner eye corner. I'm gonna use a clean, fluffy brush to blend out all of the edges. Going back into Sandworm, I'm gonna place that into the inner tear duct area, bringing it down into the inner lower lash line as well. For the waterline, I'm using Yayo from Urban Decay. Add lashes and mascara, and that's look 2. For the next look, I'm going to be using the Recently Deceased palette and taking BeetleJuice and build that shade messily above my crease. Then I'm going to take Bioexorcist and blend that further into the crease. And again, it's okay to be messy at this point. For this look, we're not really focused on the sharp lines or perfection of it all. Going back into BeetleJuice to build that shade back up and blend the edge of Bioexorcist. Next, I'm taking Lost Souls and patting that on the outer and inner lid space. Using the shade Neurotic on my finger, I'm going to pat that on my center lid, moving up into the crease for a little exaggeration. You could stop here for a halo look and it would be dope, but I'm going to add a little bit of liner. Taking Wallflower from Melt, I'm going to create that wing. And then I'm going to place that BeetleJuice shade right on top of the wing to sort of brighten up the color. I'm also going to run that cream liner on the outer lower lash line, connecting it to the top wing. And again, place BeetleJuice on top of it. Going into Recently Deceased, I'm going to run that from the inner corner to meet slightly underneath that green shade in the middle of the lower lash line. Taking Bioexorcist on a thin fluffy brush, I'm going to blend that out. Next, I'm taking Neurotic and placing that on my inner corners and center lower lash line. I'm going to use Piggy Bank liner from Colourpop and line my waterline. Add lashes and mascara, and that's the look. For the final look, still in the Recently Deceased palette, we're going into Draw a Door and pack that into and above my crease and blend that out. Then I'm going to take Paranormal and fill in the center lid all the way to the outer corner lid, following slightly above my crease, angling that shade outwards in the form of an outer V, creating a wing as we go. After we got our shape filled in, we're taking Little Accident and placing it slightly on top of the green shade, meeting in the center of the lid. Then filling in the rest of the inner lid space, almost like a cut crease, meeting into that green shade in the middle, if that makes sense, to create like a full winged look. Once we got the wing perfected and sharpened on both lids, I'm going back into Paranormal, and I'm going to drag it on the outer lower lash line, again connecting it to the top. Then we're going to take Little Accident and swipe that on the inner lower lash line, meeting with the green shade, preferably in the middle of the lower lash line. Going into Draw a Door to blend that out. I'm going to use this green liner from Smashbox and add that to the waterline. And of course, taking Neurotic and placing that in the inner corners. Add lashes and mascara, and that's the last look. about does it for me. Hopefully this video was fun, entertaining, inspiring, all that great stuff. If so, please give me a thumbs up. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video if it is in your heart to do so, and I will see you guys in the next one.